Of average sales of what we were reported as a good wedding would be tin cakes at the fairgrounds. And so that's where we started with the tin cakes figure. And then you can calculate the price on through. We added in the security, and then we took it times 5 nights. And you can see that the assumptions at the top of the 3 12-ounce cans per person, and then how many people you'd have to have in the beer garden each night. And so, as far as a feasible type thing, if you go down to the bottom one, figured 600 cans would be fairly feasible. That'd be 200 people. And then as far as the beer garden, as there would be no one under 21 allowed in it at all. There'd be no mixing of underage people and the beer garden area. And there would be a chain link fence 6 foot high around the beer garden. Any questions on that? And you already have the days and the times that we had last time. At this time we've taken a Sunday off after we talked last time.
Is the hours the same as before, Dave?
Right.
Well, they're a tentative. We're just applying from 5 to 8 so that we have an open window, but depending on what events we have, 4-H, that we're not going to have serving with 4-H events, which is only 1 day. So probably, like we said before, 1 hour before the event starts, that type of deal. It's not going to be we're open at 5 and we're not going to close at midnight.
On the first application I had given you, it was 5 to midnight on the weekdays, and then 12 to 12 on the weekends. But we've taken the Sunday off altogether. And that would be the maximum number of hours that would be open. It would possibly be scaled down from that.
What would be the high number of the people that you would expect to attend?
A high number?
Right.
We really have nothing to base it on. We were hoping to get roughly 150 to 200 people.
I think when I was talking to Sandy, she had asked if there was any statutes in connection with security and who provides that security. And although I didn't find anything in the statute, there is a regulation under the Liquor Control Commission, which has the effect of law, which requires that you have a security person in place for the first 150 people, and for each additional 200 people, you expect you have to have an additional security person in place. And that security person has his or her responsibility to prohibit the minors from drinking. But the way that I read this regulation, in addition to those security personnel, there should be persons in place to, according to the words of the statute or regulation, maintain order and enforce the liquor laws.
Right. But we we're going to have the 2 security personnel just do security, and the other ones were there to ID, and the other personnel were going to ID and actually serve and man the gates.
I've talked to the state of Nebraska quite a bit. I've been on, talked to them quite a bit. Talked about security, asked them what their regulation was for security. I said, do they have to be law enforcement? She said, no, you just got to follow the rules that are stated. 150 for the first, 200 additional after that. I asked, he said that, like Dave said, you want people walking. Security has to either have a hat on or a shirt that identifies that they're security. That's the only regulations that the state hands down that says that you're going to be a security personnel.
And the portion of the regulation I'm referring to, it's one sentence. It says, security personnel, and I have copies of this if you want, security personnel, whether paid or volunteer, shall have duties other than maintaining order and enforcing all liquor laws and license conditions. And then it goes on to say, including prohibiting minors and intoxicated attendees from consuming or possessing alcohol. So the way that I see it, the personnel that you need to have in place, the security personnel, have as their responsibility, primary responsibility, to make sure that persons underage don't drink, but you still have to, should still have to have, the way that I read it, you need to have additional persons in place to maintain the peace.
Your people checking in with the security too. I mean, that's, you know, I talked about that. I talked about minors coming in. What do we do if we got a guy that we're scared about his ID? We really don't know. They got a, what they call a ID, what do they call that? They call it an ID book. Basically, you fill it out. You put that kid's name in that book. That covers the fair. If he is a minor and he's on a fake ID or whatever, that covers us. We can no longer get busted. The state can't come after us. She said that, you know, take that extra minute. You know, they got a book, or we can make our own book up. She said that she would send us a book. ID register is what it's called. She said if you got minors, she goes, even if you know, if you have any doubts, fill it out. It's just, you know, you're protecting yourself from getting in trouble. That's why she recommended 2 or 3 guys carding at the gate. So if you come across a kid that you were questionable about, you can pull him off to the side, stare, you know, look at his ID, and then if you still don't feel comfortable, put him in that book, let him go on in. And if it comes out that he's a minor, then that covers the bases. And we're not liable for it. Then the minor's going to take all the raps.
I guess my ultimate question is, have you conferred with the sheriff's office?
I haven't. I've been working. I mean, no, I haven't. I mean, this is just what I've just been ready for this meeting. You know, he can give his opinions. You know, so I want to work with him. I don't want to be against him. I want his blessings. You know, I'm just finding out what the rules are. You know, it's all online. If there was any questions, I called the state, and the state always ended the question with whatever the county ordinance is, or city. Everything that you read in there comes back down to what the county ordinance, the city is. So that's where we want to, you know, find out what ordinance was in place.